cup of tea, Kelly Stamps' $40,000 income per month and how she spends it. Today, Sorrel, millionaire. I'll be reacting to how she does that. I love watching these videos. They're just so informative on people's spending habits, and oftentimes people that make a lot of money are also quite similar to me because they have similar values, so I feel accepted with my strange ways. And I always love discussing with my friends how I would do things differently in the financial world and how I would maximize money and make it work for you as much as possible. So today, let's see if I have anything to add to Kelly Stamps.
Hello! Everybody, this is Kelly Stamps, and today I am joining the trend of the how I spend my money as a full-time YouTuber. Adsense truly does not make most people money. Luckily it does for me because I'm on her good side. I'm on the algorithm's good side. Hey algorithm, you look real cute today.
That's true. She is correct. AdSense doesn't pay a lot at all for most creators. And what I just saw, $15,000 a month that she makes from AdSense is an absurd amount considering the topic that she actually talks about, which oftentimes it doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't even know what she talks about. I've looked at her videos and I don't know what she's really talking about. I hope she just doesn't rely on that because it can change at any second. Things can change. The algorithm changes, the AdSense changes, the payout changes so often. So even though she might be comfortable right now and she thinks that this might be forever, she has to have different ways of making money as well, an extensive range of different ways of making money because this can change. And this is the danger of AdSense. People rely on it and then they think it's going to be there forever, and when it changes they're like, I don't know what to do anymore. So you have to be prepared for any eventuality of any of your income streams wiping out.
But mostly we make money through sponsorships. But first, I'll explain how AdSense works.
Not correct. She says mostly we make money from sponsorships. This is her strategy. There are so many different ways of making money on YouTube as a YouTuber, as a business of being a YouTuber. Sponsorships can be a tiny portion if you monetize your channel accordingly and properly.
And no, it is not taxed. That is where a bookkeeper comes in, or a very good tax person.
I'm really glad that she mentions a really good tax accountant because they are worth their weight in gold. If you find the right person, they are able to deduct so many expenses and it will save you so much tax. And this is the benefit of being a business and having a company and paying yourself as an employee of your own company, because the deductions you can have for a company are immense. So essentially, as a employee, you receive your money already taxed. All your expenses come out of everything that's already been taxed. The business side of things, instead, you receive the money up front and then you deduct everything you need to deduct, which oftentimes there is almost everything, a good tax accountant has to double check with this, almost everything can be deducted. And then whatever is left over, whatever profit is remaining from that, this is where you pay your tax. Lots of savings can be had. This is why I always say, in order to become as wealthy as possible, you need to find a way to become a business or have a company as soon as possible and figure out ways of monetizing that rather than being an employee, because with being an employee, you are very limited in order to grow your wealth. There is such a strong glass ceiling above you.
You earn a minimum $24,500, ranging upwards to $40,000 a month.
She's amazing. She is a boss. I don't know if she's got management. If she gets 24 to 40,000 a month, she's a fucking, great negotiator. She just started investing and she's at $40,000 a month. Oh my God. I'm pretty sure she said that she makes $480,000 net a year. Net meaning that she pulls everything after all deduction. She pulls in $305,000 at the end of everything after tax cuts and everything. She just started investing now. That's a very delayed response to investing with that much cash coming in. But I also took my time a little bit because I was so focused on building up my brand, and I was like, I'll get to investing later, because you do have to know a lot about investing and trading or buying property and everything. So I don't blame her for doing that, because when you're in creator mode like she is and she's pumping out the videos because she's focused on building up her brand and building up her business, this takes up almost all of your effort. And if she doesn't have any staff, anyone supporting her, it's a lot of work. So I don't blame her for just starting investing now. Net around 300, but with many write-offs to help. That's a huge disparity between the two. $175,000 a year, and she says she's got many write-offs. That's not many write-offs. I think she could get a better accountant actually, because if she's losing $175,000 a year on what? I don't understand. Yeah, there's tax, but with the write-offs you can reduce your tax legally to be a lot less. So I don't know what the hell she's doing with $175,000. Oh my Lord.
Spending is about $4,196 on my existence.
I like that she has a very strict spending budget every single month, because because that means that she's tracking her expenses, which is awesome. And as part of the wealth mindset, you want to know where your money's going. Lots of people have no clue where their money is going, and she's tracking it because money loves to flow to people that have the most organization. Simple truth. If you don't care about where your money's going, if you don't respect it, if you don't track it, if you don't put it into its specific locations, it's going to go somewhere else. Money will flow where there's most organization. And if that's not you, time to get organized.
That is still way too much for me. I don't think my existence should cost more than like $3,200 a month.
I agree with that. I still think that my expenses should be at the same amount of what I was spending when I was not making that much money. Realistically, nothing should go up. I don't see the point. I was still spending really good money on food. I always love to look after my health, so that wouldn't have changed. I was spending very little amount of rent because I didn't care really where I lived. I wanted to live with good housemates and a semi-good location, and I would just decorate my rooms in these really shit houses that I lived in. Max I once paid was $290 a week on this tiny studio apartment, but it was really downtown, and I loved it so much. And I think I should be spending this much still. I don't see the point of spending more than that at all. I don't think your rent should be that expensive. You should be keeping your expenses low, because just because you're making money doesn't mean all of a sudden you have to spend it. The money that you make extra, that goes into the investment mind space, because you'll be taking that money to make it work for you, because she's not going to have this amount of monthly income from YouTube forever. It absolutely will change 1,000%. Whether she keeps growing for another few years, possibly, yes, but at some point something is going to change. So she wants to make sure that she's ready to substitute her income from different sources. I would say never get a car, and I reluctantly got one. Things do change, I will say that. I still don't have a car. I still drive a Hyundai i10 rental. And it's free because I do a deal in exchange for promotion of the brand. You try to find deals wherever you can to minimize your expenses that you have at all times. Minimize your expenses as much as possible. There's no reason why they should go up. Even if I'm a millionaire, I still drive the shit as my car. And I'm so happy with it. When I'm in it, I'm like, nee, rentals are the fastest cars in the world. I said I would never upgrade from a studio. Now I have a spacious home. I can agree with her. I always thought I was going to live in the smallest, tiniest little shack. I always love small homes. I think I'll one day return to a tiny home, but we bought this giant house here, and me and Leon both came from a minimalist background, and this has shocked us. I'm not very comfortable in this space. However, the reason why we got this is because the house was 50% off. It was an incredible deal. It was around $250,000 US that we paid for this house. The house is banging. It is so beautiful. We have done some changes to it to upgrade the value of it, like add a sauna and a fireplace and a greenhouse, so the value of the house has definitely gone up even more, and I don't have to pay rent, which is really nice as well. So having a smaller house but having nature to play with is my dream. A lot of rich people like Graham Stephan have these huge houses just because they get rich, and I look at that big house that Graham has and I'm like, ew, I think that is hell. Not because of the design, it's really nice, but the amount of sheer space, pointless space that they have, to me is crazy. And I know the monthly running cost of that house will be insane. Yeah, he's really rich, but again, I don't think you need to raise your house to be that luxurious. I really like her attitude because she'd go back down, and you just gotta have to test things out.
I am that stubborn person who does not have the newest technology.
The amount of money you're spending on these technologies just to upgrade the latest model from last year. It's like the last year's model will be fine for a very long time. So just not being that consumer.
But you spend $1,000 on Chanel. I said yes. You know, once you get into fashion, you realize that some pieces, some, not all, some can be an investment.
And I like that she mentioned some pieces that they can sell for more. This is a really hard skill to guess. And I think a lot of people would talk themselves into thinking that they have the skill and buy expensive pieces and then resell them more. She has the luxury to do this because she's got some money. Most people don't have the potential of losing that money in the future. A lot of people with the wealth mindset, they always think about anything that could resell in the future. And I dare say I would think the same. The thing that I often do instead, I don't buy a lot of expensive items that I think I'm going to resell. Once I buy an expensive item, I know I'm going to keep it for life. This couch was one of the most expensive things I've ever bought in my entire life, except for a house. But everything else, thrift store stuff. So I know that if I need to ditch it, it's fine. I'll just ditch it because it cost me 15 bucks. Sticks. You know, I try to decorate as frugally as possible while maintaining the beauty of it as well.
I refuse to spend $3 a day on coffee. That is carry the one. Too much money. First, I was going out for coffee every day for the experience of editing, which is fine because I do like to get outside. It's so tempting to go in there and get the bagel and get the cheese kit.
I remember reading somewhere in Australia that if you wanted to end up buying your own house in the future, you should cut out avocados and not buy avocados. I was like, what? And this is the same sort of an idea for me. It's like cut out this one simple thing a day that brings you a lot of pleasure. Saving like $3 a day is not going to make the biggest difference for you. And if you really enjoy going out and doing something, amen, go for it. Life should also be an enjoyment process like that for sure. She does say the right thing that if you're in the cafe store and you're just going to order a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and that's how they get your money. And that's when it's unnecessary. But I mean, make it at home. It'll cost you much less than that, which I also agree with. But if you love it, then you should do it anyway.
Now, you know, I don't want the stuff around me, so I actually have to cook.
I can also relate to this. One, cooking for yourself, so good for you, because I learned an extra skill in the last year because we've now living in the middle of nowhere, so there's nothing around us. So I learned to cook the best breakfast in the entire world. Ain't nobody that's gonna make a better breakfast than when you're eating out. You don't really know what's in the food, so you don't know how healthy it is. So eating out, one, it's not good for your wallet, and two, it's not good for your health, I don't think, unless you're eating out at a place that is really, really, really organic and fresh and everything like that. That's a big difference. That's also very expensive.
Or 9 pieces of the pork loin can be $8 to $11. And
I think this is like a health video now. Girl, you have a lot of money. If your pork is that affordable, you should try to look at one that is a little bit more expensive. If you're a meat eater, that is grass-fed. You need to look after your health. And I've seen way too many millionaires that have the worst eating habits. And you can see, you look at their YouTube videos and you're like, you look sick. Please just eat some good food. And that makes me so annoyed because you're perpetuating the cycle that eating bad is something to be proud of. It's not something to be proud of at all. Also, wrapping your food in plastic, the way that she's doing it here, is also bad for you. The plastic is leaching into the meat. I know that she's young. She doesn't quite understand nutrition just yet. She's gonna learn eventually. I also didn't eat very well when I was younger. And now the older I get, the more I realize, hey, I can afford it. And it's my duty to be at my optimum and be as optimal as possible in every regard, meaning my health also, because that means you're not putting a strain on the health system, you're not going to hospitals, you're not going to see doctors. So you're freeing up the space for people that can't afford better food. So it's almost like an obligation for you to look after your body, in my opinion. And plus, it makes you feel better, it makes you perform better, it makes your business perform better. Everything is better if you just look after your health.
I don't even like to go out and drink.
Where I see a lot of myself in her, I also didn't go out and drink. I sometimes think, oh, I wish I had that party animal stage that, you know, you go out and get drunk all the time. I didn't have it. This was not something interesting to me at all when I was younger. And it's now I'm just like, as if I would do that. That's so boring. This is a big thing that a lot of people do, and they go out on the weekends and they just mess themselves up massively, and they spend so much money, and their health takes a toll. So I'm with her on this.
Now, the things that I'm guilty of spending money on, I go eat at really nice places sometimes.
That's so cute. Yes, you should absolutely splurge as well every now and again. And that's the thing about splurging and saving it for special occasions, like when she rewards herself essentially. Whereas a lot of people, they like to just go out all the time and then just buy $5, $3 sandwich or whatever. And it takes the joy out of eating out for one. So that's why cooking at home and then splurging and going out and having a little bit of something for yourself is really nice, because it's a reward for yourself. And I love that. I think it's really cool. I think we should reward ourselves, especially with high quality things in life. I think that's a beautiful thing that you should be doing. It's showing this sign of respect for yourself. Like, hey, you worked really hard, you deserve something, so I'm gonna go splurge. I'm so grateful that this YouTube worked for her. It is really hard to do a YouTube channel. It's so much work. You can't even believe it. You have to have so many skills. And people that think that influencers just do jack all. No, we are creating our own TV station that we run everything of. The marketing, the promotion, editing, the filming, being in front of the camera. We do everything. We are TV shows and we do the whole job. So it is so shit that still people have an opinion of influencers or YouTubers to be pretty shit, because we do so much work. And it is so much work, but goddamn, it's rewarding. And at the beginning is a slow slog. And then if it works, oh, the rewards of that are just, it's awesome. But whatever you choose, even if it's not YouTube, you need to figure out a way of earning more money and maximizing your money coming in. And the best way to do that is to serve as many people as possible. The value is where you're going to get rewarded for, and not trading your one-on-one time, but instead trading your skills for reaching as many people as possible.
I currently live in Florida, which is benefiting my YouTube business because I'm saving a lot of money with taxes. However, I'm probably going to go back to Boston soon.
She needs to have a company that's set up offshore. We have companies all over the world, Leon and I, and our tax is based off not where we live. It doesn't work that way. We have companies in Iceland as well, but they work together. These companies all work together in order to help us maximize deduction of our high tax as much as possible legally. And there's many different ways of doing this legally, because you should be able to maximize your dollar to put it into investments that you think are good for you, good for the planet, good for the environment, and better than spending it on wars like the governments do. Your tax dollar goes to killing people. Lovely.
I have this amazing, wonderful cushion of money that I dreamed of years ago, and that matters a lot more to me than fitting in.
Yes! Fitting in and having the latest phone is nowhere near as satisfying as having a really solid cushion behind you. It is the greatest feeling in the world. It just lifts this burden of wondering where the cash is going to come back. You feel so much calmer. You can think rationally. You don't react to anything. So absolutely putting priority of figuring out how to save money, how to invest money is so important. The one thing that I want to know, and the one thing that she doesn't cover off, is that she just started investing. So I would love to know what she's doing and how she's spending the rest of the $26,000 a month. What is she doing with it? Because if it's just sitting in the bank account, I can guarantee her bank account is probably pretty fat right now. And that's a lot of money that's going to waste, because if it doesn't have a high enough interest rate, the inflation of everything around us is eating up her cash. So it's devaluing her money is really, really fast. She needs to put that into investments. I don't mind that she's renting. She's still young. She doesn't know where she wants to go. She doesn't know what she wants to do. But at some point she's going to buy a house. There's so many different ways of investing this amount of money, and also cutting back more on your expenses. I think if she wants to live in Boston, I think she should rent a much cheaper apartment. She does not need to be renting something that expensive. Holy shit. But the rest of the money that she has, she should be looking at property investing. So making sure that the tenants are then paying her rent, so that she's starting to substitute her YouTube income with other income streams, passive income streams. This is where the huge rewards are going to come in for her in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was quite long, but I really hope you got some insights from how my mind works, and congratulations, Kelly, on all your success. You are a little gem. You are hilarious. If you would like to learn more about finance and freedom and making yourself a global citizen as well, we have an amazing mailer that goes out twice a week, roughly twice a week. Leon writes it. It is so good. It's got great lessons that are very valuable to you. People are praising the newsletter, so make sure that you sign up with the link in the bio. Also, check out our social media everywhere down below, and we release videos twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I will see you here in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.
Don't borrow money to impress people you don't even like.